Hi and welcome to Aquatic Mike. Today I'm bringing you a video from when I was visiting a large wholesaler. He was kind enough to let me film in his facility, and I'm bringing you the footage from there. One thing that I always thought when people were visiting places like this is that they normally don't film as many fish, so I've tried to film as many as I could, although I didn't manage to cover them all. But we're starting out at a load of livebearers, guppies, both Vingay and reticulata. Here's some Japan blue and some koi tuxedo, some barred antler. Here's some scarlets, I believe. But yeah, there were rows and rows with livebearers, some females only. Here's some dumbos, I believe they were. Mosaic, and here's more of those scarlets, I believe, antlers. And here's some stiffron gobies, or at least I believe they were stiffron. There's more guppies, and some gouramis. Not sure what species. More guppies, and more guppies. And some paradise fish, I believe I just passed, and some panda guppies, I believe. More blue fancy guppies, and some red fancy guppies. Here we're at the shrimp tanks. These are Neocaridina shrimp. There's millions and millions and millions of shrimp here. The tanks were rather large as well. There's another tank with red Neocaridina shrimp, and here's one with orange. Quite a few of them in there. And here's a tank with yellow Neocaridina shrimp. Not the ones with the line across the back, however. Here's another with deep red Neocaridina shrimp. There's one with, I don't recall whether if these were blue or black, but looking at the footage now, possibly black. There's a tank that was rather empty, but there has been really shrimp in there, and there's also some gamagos possibly acting as a cleanup. Here's more really shrimp, however the blue variant of Neocaridina. And here we have got the what is called yellow fire Neocaridina, so with a stripe along the back, I believe, or at least quite a few of them had that. Here's a tank with Pinocchio shrimp, so no longer Caridina shrimp. No longer Neocaridina shrimp, sorry. I'm not sure if I passed a lot of shrimp tanks. I might have done that. I don't recall what I didn't manage to film, but I don't have a lot more footage of Caridina shrimp. Here's some possibly Amano shrimp. Or some other species of shrimp. Here's a rack with a lot of crabs. They had a vast variety of crabs. I don't recall whether if there was also some other type of animals stored in these crates. Oh, by the way, subscribe and share and comment and like, by the way. Here's a load of tanks with earlier we saw Parachaerodon axelrodii or cardinal tetras. Down there were neon tetras, so Parachaerodon yniesi. Load of tanks of them. I don't recall whether if there might have also been some green neon tetras or Parachaerodon simulans. Here we've got some more eels. These might have been saltwater, because these shrimps should have been saltwater, I believe. I didn't manage to film a lot of saltwater, but here's some Mbuna cichlids, some barbs, and up here we've got some Danios that I'm passing a bit quick. Here's some Aulonocara firefish, I believe, Malawi cichlids, and more Aulonocara. A big petroglyphis gibiceps, possibly, more Aulonocara. Possibly Aulonocara benga in here, some angelfish and some more large plecos. And more saltwater shrimp. A pretty nice saltwater fish. More saltwater shrimp. Here we got some Hoplysoma CW28. I believe, at least. I'm pretty certain that's what it is. And here's a decently sized Fahaka pufferfish. Believe I put my hand on the tank to kind of give you an idea of the size of it. So it was rather large. And here we've got some Hoplysoma duplicarium or Adolphoi. Here's some Crenicicla, well, what I believe to be Sabrina. I'm not someone who keeps a lot of, or I don't keep any predatory fish. There's some chorus that's predatory as well, and maybe those vampire fish. I don't recall what they're called. Here's some Hoplysoma swartzy and a big pleco, probably gibiceps. Here's some black ghost, a bit smaller than they can get. Here's some knifefish and some stingrays and some rainbow fish and a pleco, along with some what I believe to have been CW27/C154, possibly Brevigostris. There was some Hoplysoma concolor afterwards, I believe. And now we're over at the turtle section. I don't know turtles pretty much at all, I would say, so I won't even try to differentiate these turtles. But there were quite a few crates with turtles. I didn't manage to film them all, I'm afraid. And here's some weird looking fish, probably predatory from the look of it. If you know what the name of this fish is, comment down below, please. And here's some Synorontis catfish from Africa. Quite a few. Quite large, more angels. And this is also a species of fish that I don't really know, some corydoras of some sort. Here's some elephant nose and also some Osteogaster equus along with the Gara flavatra or a pleco. Here's some I don't know whether if these were Butifordia leveretti or there's some Otocinclus, or if they were Sevilla lineolata or Pseudogastromyson or Gastromyson. Here's some gars, predatory fish, and here's some Gara flavatra. The earlier ones were Gara rufa, if I said something else. And these are some Polypterus. Quite large, however the Sabrinas were probably the largest fish that I filmed so far, at least. Here's some Apistogramma. Might have been some Agassiz in there, at least a few. And here's some Cacatoides. I know one who might be happy to see that I filmed some of them. And here's some archerfish or sproutfish. And some more Apistogramma and an Ancistrus. And some other fish racing about up on top. I don't recall what they were. And more Apistogramma. Don't know the species. And some moray eels. Rather long ones. And some Pangeo species. A loach, possibly Pangeo anguillaris. and some more pufferfish. Some more eel, possibly that one, what is it called, polyaurodon or euroadon or something like that, the freshwater more eel, one of them, I believe, one of the true ones to be at least. They were also rather large or long, and some catfish that I don't know the name of. Some tetras, possibly gold tetras. Don't know the scientific name of those. And some reed fish or öronål, as we would say in Swedish. Quite a few of them, piles and piles and piles of them. And some gourami species of fish. I'm not sure whether if these were possibly pygmy gouramis or something like that. Some rainbow fish, what I believe to be Melanotoenia lacustris. And some plecos, possibly Panaculus species. And some more plecos, I believe these to be maybe, well, they're a heap ancestors, possibly L136. And there were quite a few of them in there on the route as well. Some, well, I don't know the fish above, but down below there's Hoplysoma CW28 along with the Brockis pulker. And here's some Hoplysoma loxosonus. Now we're back to the tank that we saw just earlier. But there's at least 2, maybe 3 species in here, possibly some Swartzii or Swartzii as well. But there's at least a couple of Brockis pulcher. The large one in the left and right in front, slightly to the right in the frame now. And here's some Hoplysoma mete, also known as the bandit cory from Rio Meta basin, or Rio Meta river. And here's some, well, from what I believe to have been Brockis crypticus, I believe. They were earlier called corydoras crypticus. Here's some Hoplysoma sturbi and some ancestor species, some cichlids. And yeah, down here is some ancestor species along with some pelvic acromis, or cribensis cichlids, I believe you call them in English. Down there were more Hoplysoma sturbi. And here's a brief view of well, slightly of the facility. There's rows and rows and rows of tanks. I tried my best to film quite a lot of them at least. More Osteugaster CW10s. And a pelvic acromis species. And some Aphysemiron australe, I believe. And also an ancestors. Down here is blue gourami. I don't recall the scientific name, possibly Trichogaster something. And more cichlids. And up here we've got some dwarf gouramis along with some other fish that I don't recall. And here we've got some Hoplysoma, not Hoplysoma, Osteugaster CW10 or gold laser. If you know the fish above them, let me know what that is, cause I don't know what that was. Some killifish along with some Osteugaster Ainea or previously Aineus. Some cichlid along with some ancestor species. And some axolotls. And there's some mosaic gouramis along with a cichlid. I believe those were Trichogaster leary. And this is some species of killifish that I don't know either. So if you know what this species is, please comment down below. Possibly Aphysemiron, well, species, something. Some more angelfish along with some ancestors. More axolotls. Here we've got some cichlids and also some gouramis. and some ancestors, and an Osteogaster venezuelanus along with possibly L201s to the left, hype ancestors. Some dwarf gouramis as well, Osteogaster CW10s or gold laser, along with the Notobranchius killifish. Believe those to be annual, so they don't live very long, but very pretty. I believe these were Euphagus. And Osteogaster CW9s, and there are the fish above again, if you know what is that, a splash tetra or something like that, I'm not sure. And those weird looking fish again that I don't know, maybe it's a killifish. Some gouramis along with some cichlids, and some more gouramis, possibly licorice or something like that. I might have been too large to be licorice, I'm not sure. Some Scleromystax barbatus in the middle of the screen, and also some, well, Corydoras species possibly. Here's some Hoplysoma palliatus and some Pelvica chromis species. And up here we've got the largest axolotls that I managed to film. And here we've got some Aphysemiron again, Austral and possibly Gardneri. And down here we've got Hoplysoma gosse. I brought a couple of these with me home. I bred them since, however I haven't got like spawning footage, but hopefully there might be a fry identification video in the future. Here's some more Killi Aphysemiron Austral, I believe. And some Epiplatus species, I don't recall the names of them now. Is it Annulatus? And there's another one, but I don't know which one that was. Here's some Gastrodermus napoensis up there, the corydoradine species. And black molly or Bosilia spenops, and some angelfish. Hoplysoma panda. Quite a few of them, along with gourami that probably bailed from this tank with gouramis. There's some, well, I'm not sure, possibly Adenocara cichlids. And some, well, possibly Notobranchius species of Kili, and some Hoplysoma duplicarium or Adolphoi, more cichlids. And these are blue Acara cichlids. And up here we've got some more Osteogaster CW10s and also a CW14 in there also. Some more killifish and some Hoplysoma adolphoi or duplicarium. Which species of killifish was that? Let me know if you have an answer down below in the comments. Here's some more gouramis and some paradise fish. Another tank with Hoplysoma panda, quite a few of them. Large Mbuna cichlids, or well, some of them are Mbuna, and a lot of cichlids. The only one that I had that looked similar to that was Melanochromis johanni. They changed name now to Pseudotropheus, I believe, but more Hoplysoma panda. But I believe the females were more yellow and probably, or I don't recall ours to be that large, so maybe Auratus or something. There's a tilapia species and some other cichlids. Some Fossilia spenops, black molly. And an empty tank. And some platis, Psiphorphyrus variatus and maculatus. They had both. And more platis, possibly Musse pig in Swedish, I don't recall. Mickey Mouse in English, I believe. More platis, various platis. Some Posilia spenops, I believe, leertail gold ones, or yellow, and some more platis. quite a few of them, and some tuxedo platies, and black mollies, Poecilia spinops. More platies, another tuxedo variant. The black there across the lateral line of the fish relates to being tuxedo. Some more platies and also some swordtails. It's like what do we call these? Are these kuhaku or something, or might have been a mix? What I think is normally sold under the name green swordtail. So another mix of swordtails. Red or orange swordtails. Oops. And some mollies. And some mollies. Gold ones. And paradise fish, I believe. And some more swordtails. What is this variant called? Let me know down below if you know. And here's some wagtail, or the majority of them were wagtail at least. And some, well, kuhaku swordtails, I believe. Many swordtails. And some paradise fish. More swordtails. More swordtails. Some pelvic acromy species. Along with some other, possibly paradise fish, I'm not sure. More swordtails. Another wagtail variant. Mainly red or orange swordtails in this tank. This might have been Oricii or rice fish at least, not sure how the Latin name is pronounced. And more swordtails, wagtail, more kuhaku. Now we're over to the platy section. More tuxedo platies. Some red ones earlier. Some coral reds here, I believe, or what is sold as coral platies at least. More platies. And not too sure what those were. Possibly those, well, never mind. Here's some angelfish and a big pleco. And more rice fish, I believe. Oricias, or something like that. Some barbs. These might have been scarlet bodies or something like that. Some pufferfish. And some Nothu branchis killifish. Pretty ones, but annual. This is pretty much all that I had to bring to you for today, so please leave a like, subscribe, share and comment, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Take care. Bye.